Bosh, here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the New Paradigm Entrepreneurs podcast with myself, Eric Nemhard. This week, I've got the pleasure of introducing you to Kyle Abbot, who's a spiritual life coach. He's a beautiful soul. He's someone that I met not too long ago, but from the first interaction that we ever had, we really kicked off, and we've got a really good connection, and I'm very excited to introduce you to the world. Yeah, he's unapologetically himself, and yep, if you could just fire away and tell us a bit about your background and how you got into the life coaching space, Carl.
Well, thanks for having us here. Life coaching, well, basically it started like 4 years ago. In my past life, I was in and out of drug dealing, in and out of prison, a life of crime, basically. And I just, I got to a point where I wanted to get out. It was just enough. There were just too much things going on within my life. It was just one thing after another. And it was something that I never wanted to do full time. It was just something that I got into that I wanted to get out, and it was just a temporary thing, but I ended up being in it for most of my life and it consumed me. Wow. So I ended up having an addiction to cocaine. I ended up being obsessed with women, always gallivanting, doing crazy stuff. There were a lot of crazy violence going on in my life. There were a lot of lies, deceit. Just my life was completely out of balance, and I just wanted happiness. I wanted love. I feel we all want that. So I went down the road of becoming an entrepreneur and finding out what I could do. But when I first started, it was always about getting money, because that's what life seemed to be about. Everything was focused on money. But as I progressed in my journey, well, I tell you what, I went from having a lot of money at once to having nothing. And I liked it that way, because when I didn't have money, I couldn't tempt myself into getting drugs. So that's how I got myself away from it. I literally sacrificed everything and went with nothing. And yeah, and I just worked on myself, and I worked on different businesses, numerous businesses, whether it's affiliate marketing, e-commerce, anything to do with online, because I knew there were ways to make money online, and I was like, I'm going to make money online. But then it come to the point, as my journey progressed, it changed, and it wasn't about money. So I ended up going on a journey of self-discovery without me even realizing. It started off me wanting to learn how to become a millionaire and make it successfully. But then on my journey, I've found out what I truly want in life and what I am. I understand myself on a deeper level, on a spiritual level, on an emotional level, on a physical level, and then on a mental level. So I got introduced to a few things, and then I was excited with the growth that came with it. And I'd never experienced anything like this, because in my past life, it was just certain thoughts. It were like, get the drugs, sell the drugs, take the drugs, find the women, play
like a
with
vicious cycle, basically, of self-destruction.
Yeah. So the growth process, there were no growth there for years. Like I might have had I might have grown when it comes to being streetwise, but like.
But there was no fulfillment with that kind of path that you were heading down.
No, not at all. I just want happy, and it was just like I'd take drugs. It was just like a quick fix to get that bit of happiness that I was searching for, and then it'd be gone. So I'll be searching for that. So I'll be going.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle, isn't it? Drugs and stuff. I mean, it's a form of escapism, and again, it's easy to label it. Again, I'm no expert in terms of judging or classifying things, but the kind of long and short is it's filling a void, and more often than not, it tends to be, like you say, like a vicious cycle heading to nowhere. But ultimately, there are cases like yourself, because I don't know that you. I know, or I'm getting to know more the you that you are now, and it's always fascinating to see that transition to have come from a challenging past to then be able to use that experience and go on and crack on and do something new and which has so much more of a positive impact to in your own life and to other people as well. So I think, yeah, you do have to take some kind of credit for that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't regret my past life. I feel like I'm a strong believer in destiny, and I believe
Right.
that I've overcome my problems and my issues when it comes to taking drugs, when it comes to disrespecting myself, my body, and everyone around me. I feel like I've gained this strength, so I can help others gain strength, because the people for taking drugs and selling drugs is massive in this world. And I think if people knew really what they're actually doing to themselves and doing to the people around them, because I didn't really know the effect that I was having on the world by doing what we're doing. But then as I've moved away from it and I've noticed the black cloud I've left,
Yeah.
you know, when I was living in the darkness. And now when I'm just moving towards the light and I'm constantly growing, I've seen that effect, and that effect is more magical than anything I've ever experienced. So
I think it's definitely a process. Everything considered, obviously, there's a huge impact with, let's say, drugs in the world, along with a lot of, I don't know, any kind of vices and stuff. But I think there's a degree of free will there, and there's a degree of opportunity for everyone on all sides of the fence. You know, if you regard stuff this as kind of a simulation or as an illusion of some sort, it's the experience in and around it that's more important than actually I don't know, like the circumstances that's happening. Obviously, you've got a moral compass now, so you are going to feel a way about it. But I would, I don't know, perhaps just my opinion. I may be totally wrong, but my opinion would be to perhaps not over worry about, let's say, I don't know, the drug cycle and like the negativity of it all, because it's there, you know, whether you're involved in it or not, whether you've never been involved in it or not, it would still kind of be there. And I guess it's not necessarily your responsibility to kind of to oversee that, but I think the importance is how, like, the story that you've got to tell is just to me is amazing, and I think that's where the power is, you know, with people's experiences, because there's a hell of a lot of people out there that's going to be able to relate to you, and you know, and to be able to take value from what you're saying or your experiences, and be able to grow themselves to be able to go on and then tell their story. Do you know what I mean? So I think we can't overly concern ourselves with devices, because I mean there's so many things, you know, like there's prostitution in the world, there's I mean violence, arms trading is like the biggest thing out there, do you know what I mean, which is war, and I mean how food's contaminated and all these things. But I think myself, there's a time where I kind of over consumed or overthought about that sort of stuff, and it really brought me down. You know, it kind of crushes you, thinking, shit, there's so much fuckery in the world, things are so wrong, and blah, blah, and you can get kind of like on a downward spiral. Whereas I got to a point, I'm like, okay, well, I can only focus on what I can do and where I'm diverting my energy, right? So speaking with someone like you and seeing the growth is more important to me, even though I'm aware of the stuff that goes on. I'd rather put energy into solutions. You know, like how you got from A to B.
I understand that, and I totally get that. But I feel like if, same as me, if drug dealers and drug takers are not aware of the possibilities and not aware that they are in a trap, then who's going to be there to give them that awareness? Who's going to be there to show them, to guide them? Yeah. I'm not saying that's not my responsibility, and I'm not going to go out searching for people. But if I say, like, if people are listening to this now, and it resonates with them, they might reach out to me asking for help. And if they're going to put that energy into actually wanting a transformation within their life, that's going to give me the drive to want to work with them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the case. It is going to be situations like this whereby someone's already had an inkling or a catalyst, you know, something within themselves that they're like, you know, I want more from life, or I want to change my direction. And then lo and behold, they might stumble across this, or, you know, hopefully I can do the job of trying to introduce you to more people around. And then, you know, it could be a friend of a friend of a friend, or whatever it might be. But those are the kind of coincidences that we're looking for. Brilliant, man. So I've got the next question is, tell me about your journey as an entrepreneur and how that journey has changed since the spiritual and energetic shift.
Well, since the energetic shift, it's changed dramatically, because me as a person, since the the shift, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I have had so much growth in my life, the most growth that I've ever had in any year of my life so far, and it excites me because I've still got a lot of programs that I need to uncover, I need to get to the bottom of, because that is still holding me down a little bit. I know I've released a lot and I'm ready to just like set my wings and go where I need to go and do what I need to do. I'm ready for that. But wow. What was that question again? Because my mind has gone blank again.
Yeah, I was saying, just tell me about your journey as an entrepreneur and how your journey has changed since the spiritual and energetic shift. Do you want me to elaborate on that, or?
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's the growth that I've experienced with the shift, because I've realized the shift has made massive change within my body, within my energetic body, within my spiritual body. And it's just made me realize what is actually possible, that we're not human beings, we're actually spiritual beings, having a human experience. And this vessel provides us to have the best possible life or a nightmare of a life, but it's down to us. That's our choice and our free will. But a lot of people, they're not aware of free will, because basically the brain is programmable, but the mind is separate from the brain. So when we're born as kids, we're born pure. So, but Costa's parents and their parents, they've had programs put on them, and they've lost their connection with source. They put their programs into us, so we absorb the badness around us, not intentionally. As parents don't intentionally do this, but it's all they know. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like it's that shift that needs to take place. And
I think I don't know. Speaking energetically, I mean, I'm not overly informed in terms metaphysically, but I've got my own feelings, let's say, and I could definitely say, for the last few years, I've felt, I don't know, let's say the consciousness of the world has been changed. You know, the questions I've asked myself, even your story is a perfect example of that. You know, you got to ask yourself, what was it that kind of subliminally came in and urged you to say, you know what, I want to do something different. I don't want to be a victim of my circumstances. I want to, I don't know, I want to be of value to others. I want to improve my life, you know. That's what I'm talking about in terms of the spiritual and energetic shift, because it's quite a common theme. Perhaps maybe it's because that's where my interest lies, but I've come across a lot of entrepreneurs or people that are stepping away from conventional work or their day job to try and become an entrepreneur, or to try and start their own business, whether it's, you know, doing yoga or being a life coach, or just doing something where they feel more fulfillment. You know, you spend more time with your family and your kids, as opposed to, like my story, I was getting up the crack of dawn, jumping in a van, driving hundreds of miles every day. Then I might get a call out, work till really late, so I wasn't seeing my son. And I'm like, it got to a point where I'm like, I don't think this is life. I'm feeling work. You know, nothing wrong with the job itself. Just I wasn't feeling fulfilled within myself, and I wanted something more. I wanted to do something more where I earned more money, but there was more of a degree of fulfillment and happiness within my soul, I guess, which has eventually led me to, I guess, kind of what I'm doing now, and interacting with more people like you as well. So that's where the fascination comes in, because it's been exponential over the last few years, because obviously being an entrepreneur is nothing new, but there's a lot more people that's kind of having enough of the rat race and yada yada, but then they're not necessarily stepping into, I don't know, being a stockbroker or this or that. They're trying to be life coaches. They're trying to be, you know, it's just something a bit more, I don't know, spiritually rewarding is what I
It's somewhat like, yeah, definitely. It's somewhat fulfilling, because you're having an impact, aren't you? You're having an impact not on your own life, but someone else's life. So a lot of jobs that are in the 3D old way of living, there are a lot of them are just mundane, like 12 jobs that just absolutely soul destroying. So people are getting to the point where they're realizing, hang on, why am I making everyone else rich for this business here, when it's not, this business has not really got no meaning or purpose in this world. It's not necessary. It don't really need to be here. So people are sort of heading towards like natural remedies, like health and fitness, things that are gonna help your life become imbalanced. So whether it's bettering yourself physically, whether it's some sort of fitness or some sort of nutrition, or whether it's expanding your mind and your consciousness and awareness or your spirituality. Everyone seems to be going along them lines now, so that's where we seem to be going. And I think in the future, more people are going to be self-healing and going through self-discovery, and it's going to be a massive transformation for the whole world.
Yeah.
So this next decade is going to be, this is the stage now for the
it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
Oh, you know? Yeah, of course.
Because like literally, I mean, I wasn't aware of anything like this. Like, let's say, I mean, I was aware about metaphysical stuff and spiritual stuff, in fairness, but maybe perhaps it wasn't actively aware. I've always had my beliefs, you know. I've always been a bit of a rebel in terms of not being a non-conformist. I always believe in, let's say, a higher power, for want of a better word. I'm not particularly religious, but I'll say I'm spiritual. But yeah, like I said, more recently, I'm having a lot more of these conversations. I'm meeting more people that are, and it seems as if it's like the difference between the last 2 years alone, for the amount of people that are, let's say, woke, even though that sounds like it's a bad word to me, because there's a lot of different interpretations of that. But there's a lot more people that's waking up to, like, hold on, the day-to-day thing, the mundane stuff is I don't know, without being too rude, it's boring. I don't want to be a part of that anymore. While I'm alive for these X amount of years, I want happiness, I want joy, and I think that's our birthright. I think that's what we're here for, is to experience happiness and joy and meet good people. And I think what we're experiencing right now is that transition, whereby hopefully in 50 years' time, they'll be looking at us like, damn, I can't believe this guy was waking up at where the end, and, you know, he saw his kid for like an hour a week or whatever it was. It's like, it will seem so alien. Whereas now, some people are happy with that. Some people are happy living away from their family in the name of earning a living. And then you turn around, it's like, hold on, I haven't seen my child grow up in these last 10 years. Like, you know, people, their children don't know them. They have no relationship. And I think it's quite a travesty, like, when things have ended up like that. So I hope we're in a process now where values outweigh, I don't know, perhaps lifestyle or money or, I don't know, status and things like that. That's my interpretation anyway.
Well, definitely for what the previous years that we've been living through, everyone's been in a state of fight and flight mode, so they're in a state of degeneration, so the body's just breaking down all around them, and everybody's in that state, unless, obviously not everyone, but most people, the majority of the world, are in that state. So we're constantly harming ourselves, we're in a state of disease, illness, worry, fear, and now we by choice, obviously, but like you said, with you've got people from all sorts of backgrounds that you're saying awaken, but like, it's like people are offended when you say you need to wake up and that, but it's not like, obviously people are awake, we're walking around streets, we're awake, but when we say awake, we mean
spiritually,
like
awake, consciously.
Your mind needs to wake up, your heart needs to wake up, and your soul needs to wake up,
right,
to live life with like just joy and love and creativity.
So I think, but the only way that we will be able to communicate that, though, is through example. I don't think it's as easy as going to someone, hey, you need to wake up, kind of thing. No, there's something I read years ago, and it was said, wisdom is incommunicable. So even if you've got the wisest man in the world ever, and he's come and he sat you down in the room and he speaks to you for a whole week, you're not necessarily going to acquire the gravity of those words. You know, it's something that you're not going to learn it like that. You will acquire it over your experiences and time, as opposed to, I don't know, someone just saying, listen, if you do this, this and that, then you'll become awake, kind of thing. I don't think it works like that. So that's where the kind of metaphysical side of it comes. So it's
like this, actions create experiences, and experience creates wisdom.
There you go. And it's all very personal, isn't it? And subjective.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, when I first started my journey, it's a bit like you get all this new information and you want to shove it around people's throat, because you're like, you need to hear this, you need to hear this. But it's like you're forcing a thing, and you can't force anything. And it took me quite a while to realize that, because you want the people closest to you, don't you? You want them to understand, you want them to feel what you're feeling, you want them to experience the experiences. But when they're just like, they can't resonate with it, and they're just like, they've got their own problems going on, for them to even think and take it in.
And
So
more
if
often
you
than not, when you do take that approach, sorry to interrupt. When you do take that approach, sorry, you more often tend to push people away than actually
yeah,
than actually
because
like wake them up to your
you look like
ideas.
you're egotistical and you know it all. But it's just like it's a change in us. So we've gone from being this same person for all this life, and then suddenly you have a massive shift, and you're gonna want to tell someone it isn't. It's like, wow, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm like, I like to talk about my experiences anyway, so this was just all new to me. So it
yeah,
just like all flooded out, but we have to go through this process so we can know about grounding and being calm, coming from a place of peace, and just like letting people learn at their own levels and their own pace.
yeah,
Because most people have to go through some sort of tragedy before they want that change or make that change.
yeah.
So them tragedies are coming because
Yeah,
if they carry on following the world that they've been living in, they're going to experience many more tragedies,
yeah.
unfortunately.
It's something I read along the lines of the pain of staying has to outweigh the pain of going, you know, like changing your, I don't know, I guess your view or your behavior or whatever it might be. So I guess everyone's got a different threshold and their own lives and experiences. Right. So my next question, now not to over divert, but I think it's relative in the times that we're living in. What's your opinion of the role that COVID has played in the shift and spiritual awakening?
Well, for me personally, it's been the best thing that's happened to me because it's made me realize that all the research that I've been doing for the past 16 years on and off, it's not been like fixated. It's
Yeah,
just been like whenever some like crazy disasters happen in the world, it's made me think, it's opened my soul, it's made me look into things a bit deeper. And now
yeah,
this one, just like everything I've learned over 16 years, it made me have epiphany after epiphany after epiphany. And that sent me on my journey of self-discovery. And it were more of the fact that my dad's got mental illnesses, and all my life he's drilled it into me because he said, I am God, we're going to create an army and do this. So it's been like, but it's made me resent the word God for him doing that. But in the same sense, something inside me has told me not to like forget about it, not to brush it off like it's not real. Like, because it might have a poor choice of words, my dad, but there's a lot of truth in what he says.
the intention was good, let's say.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the thing is, it's his choice of words. It's because when you have a spiritual awakening, you either use the knowledge that's given to you and you follow it and you guide, you run with it, or you think you know everything and you know that one piece of information and that's it, and that's the ego working. Like, I know all I need to know. I don't need to grow anymore, and that's what stage my dad's at. But it's you imagine that, but just filling your body with medication, with bad energy, with bad vibes. If you're in and out of the mental institution, there's plenty of bad energies there. So there's that place there. It just, once you have your spiritual awakening and you go down that road, it's pretty much, well, not impossible, but it's very hard to get away from and come back to who you're meant to be.
yeah, yeah. If you're sedated or, you know, again, I don't have much firsthand experience of that at all, being honest, but I can just imagine, I don't know, I would always, or at least from where I'm at now in my life, I would always rather pursue like the natural process or remedies as opposed to the pharmaceutical kind of solutions and stuff. Even in regards to the question I've asked you now, with COVID, like the vaccination and stuff now, I don't want to indulge conspiracies and things like that. Like, I've just broken it down to, I don't know, I kind of trust what God's given me, and I'd rather reinforce that and bolster my immune system, live a healthier lifestyle, you know. And I'm speaking to someone that I had COVID, and I didn't have an extreme version of it, but I experienced a bit of it, and I was, let's say, out for about 10 days or so. And I think I had a little bit slightly longer term side effects, but nothing detrimental. I also lost my grandmother to it as well. So I can kind of see there's definitely something there, but I think the global reaction is just, it's unprecedented for something which hasn't been like such a deadly I don't know, virus or threat to humanity as such. But the response has been, it's been unprecedented. And I think it's not just what the governmental response has been. I think that's why I said, how do you think it's affected spiritually speaking? Because I think it's changed the landscape in terms of people questioning their lifestyles, questioning how they work. You know, people being forced to have to work from home have now said, "Whoa, shit! Even if I don't necessarily want to be an entrepreneur, I could do my job that I'm traveling an hour and a half to. I could do the job I'm traveling an hour and a half each way to from the comfort of my home. So why not explore? Like it's changing everything, the way we work, the way we live, and yeah, I think it's a fascinating time collectively, and I think some way or another, COVID happening right now has had a major coinciding, I don't know, effect with what I call the spiritual shift. Let's say from the back end of last year and perhaps the few previous years before.
Sorry, my phone's going
Is
off.
your phone buzzing away? No worries, man. No worries. I think I've only got one or two more questions. Was there anything else you wanted to elaborate on that, or?
Sorry, mate. My phone was pinging and it was interruption. I should have it turned off and that.
You got distracted. No, don't worry, man. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Okay, so what advice would you give to someone interested in beginning their own journey into entrepreneurship, but in your niche? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, you've got to coach yourself. You've got to be a first client if you're planning on getting in. The thing is, it's like I feel like everyone needs to be a coach in some sense. If they're not coaching their own life, it's just like, because if you see like, like The Voice or Britain's Got Talent, you've got judges and then you've got coaches. So this is really judgmental. They judge at you, they're looking at you, they're looking at your face value, where as the coaches, they're looking at the inside of you. You know what I mean? There's no judgmental and they're bringing out the best in you. Whereas people are going on there only thinking, I can go on here if I've got talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's giving you a different worry about going on Britain's Got Talent than it is to. So it's like the dark versus the light in a game show. You know what I mean? In that sort of sense. But if someone were going to get it, it's a hard question to ask that because people will do what they want to do from the heart.
For sure.
And if that's coaching, and that's coaching, but I feel like as long as you're benefiting yourself and the world and you're having an impact, it doesn't really matter what you do.
Yeah.
As long as you're happy and as long as you're not doing anything that's harming anyone else and you come from the right place and your intentions are right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as soon as you get rid of.
Sorry, the sound's cut off there. What did you say?
I said, as soon as you give away worry and scarcity and doubt, like the universe just brings everything to you and life does flow.
Yeah.
So it's about getting in.
I can't hear you again, mate. Cool. You back online? No worries. I guess it's kind of like it's a bit of an alarm call. So just let me know, or let the listeners know what you're up to in the coming months, and also how they can contact you or connect with you on socials.
Because I've had to do this through my phone because it won't sign up on my laptop.
Okay, no worries.
So what have I got coming in future?
Yes. Oh, in the coming months, and how can people connect with you?
Well, you got my Facebook page.
Okay, I'll add a link to it as well in the description.
Yeah, I've got group coaching. I've got energy sessions. I've got a podcast coming in the next couple of weeks. That's called Going Through Changes, where I'll be interviewing people
Brilliant.
who have gone from negative to positive and made not rapid transformations, but have worked their way from dysfunctional life to one with balance and harmony.
Right.
That'll be coming very soon. And there's a lot more in the pipeline, but I don't really want to share that right now.
That's absolutely fine. I think that's a good way to leave it. As I said, I'll put a link to any of your socials that you're happy for me to share in the description of the podcast as well, and I'll put it out on my Facebook as well. And that once again, Kyle, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for giving me your time. And again, as always, we have so many fascinating conversations, and this one didn't disappoint me at all. So thank you for being my guest this week.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me, and I'm sorry for all interruptions. I shouldn't have done it on my phone.
This is real life. This is real life, so that's absolutely fine, Carl. If anything, this is just a learning curve for the next one, and hopefully we could do the next one in person with mics in a room together and really share the same space and energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love that, definitely.
Cool. All right, my brother, take care of yourself, and everyone else listening. Thank you so much for tuning into the New Paradigm Entrepreneurs podcast. And I'll see you on the other side. Take care.
Take care, brother.